IP addressing services. Domain names were created to convert numeric IP addresses into a simple, recognizable name. Uh, FQDN, such as, say, example, http://www.cisco.com, are much easier for people to remember than the IP ad. It's the reason why we have the DNS, especially in the internet infrastructure. DNS protocols defines an automated service that matches resource names with the required numeric network address. It includes formats for queries, responses, and data. So I have here a list structure of the DNS hierarchy. Uh, there are different like sort of a role for the DNS. So it's like a whole system. So we have what we call as the authoritative name server. There's the root, there's the TLD, top level domain. Okay. So like examples of top level domains are the ones that are .com. It's like there's like a server for .coms, there's another server for .org, okay, and .au. So .com is for business, .org are for non-profit organization. Say .au is for that specific country, like AU is for Australia. So the command for user to query DNS servers configured on the device to resolve a given host name is nslookup. It's a command. So I have an example here. Like for the default server dns-sj.cisco.com, the address is 171.70.168.183 and the URL is www.cisco.com. Yes. And DHCP. DHCP, which stands for Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. These are for IPv4 service, which automates assignment of IPv4 address, subnet mask, gateway, and other IPv4 networking parameters. So this is the automatic IP address assignment of IP addresses. So when a host connects to the network, the DHCP server is contacted and an address is requested. And the DHCP server, maybe like a router or a Windows server, chooses an address from a configured range of addresses called a pool and assigns it to the host. So many networks use both DHCP and static addressing. DHCP is used for general purpose hosts such as end user devices. Static addressing is used for network devices such as gateways, routers, switch, servers, and printers. In the DHCP process, it starts with the DORA. It starts with the discover. DORA, no? There's this process here. It starts with the discover, offer, request, acknowledgement. The mnemonic is DORA. Okay. So in the discover, the client is looking for a DHCP server. It shouts. It say, "Hey, is there any DHCP server out there?" And then the DHCP server will reply, say, "Yes, I'm here." So it will offer an IP ad. Okay. Let me have a pen. So again, it starts with the discover, and then the DHCP server will offer an IP ad, and then the client will say, "Okay, I'm okay. I'm fine with the IP ad that you gave me. Can I request for that?" And then the server will allot that IP ad for in the client, and then it will acknowledge, okay, it's fine, it's yours, 192.168.10.1, it's yours. So that's it, no? So again, discover, offer, request, acknowledge. DORA. File sharing services. FTP, which stands for File Transfer Protocol, was developed to allow for data transfers between a client and a server. An FTP client is an application which runs on a computer used to push and pull data from an FTP server. Okay, so there's a series of applications. Say, example, there are tools up, uploading a file. Let's say web page, see many pages, no, because you apply to upload it into a web hosting site. They use FTP. Okay, there are popular FTP applications like FileZilla. Okay, and there are those softwares that has built-in FTP like Dreamweaver. So in the process of FTP, first step is the client will establish first a connection using port 21. And once it's established, step two, the client establishes the second connection to the server for the actual data transfer. Okay, so that's it. So first establish connection, and then the next in the phase is data transfer. And so the data transfer can now happen in either direction. The client can download data from the server, or the client can upload data to the server. And the server message block, which is a client-server request response file sharing protocol. Servers can make their own resources available to clients on the network. Three functions of SMB messages are start, authenticate, and terminate sessions. Control file and printer access. Allow an application to send and receive messages to or from another device. Unlike the file sharing supported by FTP, clients establish a long-term connection to servers after the connection is established. The user of the client can access the resources on the server as though the resource is local to the client host. To sum it up, application layer protocols are used to exchange data between programs running on the source and destination hosts. The presentation layer has three main primary functions: formatting or presenting data, compressing data, and encrypting data for transmissions, and decrypting data upon receipt. The session layer creates and maintains dialogues between source and destination applications. In the client-server model, the device requesting the information is called a client, and the device responding to the request is called a server. In a P2P network, two or more computers are connected via a network and can share resources without having a dedicated server. The three common HTTP message types are GET, POST, and PUT, and email supports three separate protocols for operation: SMTP, POP, and IMAP. DNS protocol matches resource names with the required numeric network address. And DHCP for IPv4 service automates the assignment of IPv4 addresses, subnet masks, gateways, and other IPv4 networking parameters. The DHCP v6 messages are solicit, advertise, information request, and reply. An FTP client is an application which runs on a computer that is being used to push and pull data from an FTP server. And three functions of SMB messages are start, authenticate, and terminate sessions, control file and printer access, and allow an application to send or receive messages to or from another device. And this ends this session for Module 15 application layer. I'd like to thank you for listening, and yes, keep safe. Together we learn as one.